Welcome back. For our next guest, life could not be better. A freshman at Boston College with a promising future on the theater stage. But it all came crashing down when a doctor uttered that very word, cancer. Now the singer-songwriter is supporting those battling the same illnesses she had fought to survive and giving back through both her message and her music. With me now is Laura Higgins with her very courageous story. Laura, tell us about your life. Back then, you're just entering college, just thinking about a future. 19 years old, young, very young, thinking about all you dreamed and hoped for, and then what happened?
And I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma at age 19. I had been going through some medical issues. I can now know in retrospect that I can see that it was related to the cancer, but yeah, I was doing well. I was in the lead in some plays. I thought my life was on its way, and
you literally had a pain in the neck.
I did. I had a lymph node that was growing underneath my clavicle, and I just kept getting bigger and bigger. And you know, I'm 19 years old. The doctors aren't going to. Their first assumption is not, oh, you have cancer. It's a sinus infection. It's, you know, you're just fighting something. Don't worry about it. Don't overreact. And I thought, well, it keeps growing. And then I could see it in the mirror. And, you know, finally I went to a doctor that had just diagnosed somebody previously, about like a month or 2 months before I had come in. And she sent me for a test x-ray, and it turned out it had spread, and it was cancer.
Well, that obviously had to give you some relief just knowing what it was.
Yeah, that was my first. When the doctors finally did the biopsy, they came in and said, you know, Laura, we're really sorry, but you do have cancer. I said, thank God. I said, I'm not crazy, because I thought I was going crazy.
But that began what for you?
So that began 6 months of chemotherapy, and it began an entirely new perspective on my life. You know, the laws of my world came shattering down in that moment. I thought, for sure, I'm too young for this. I'm 19 years old. That wasn't the case. So, you know, it made me question what's going on here. Like, what are the real rules? What is this world I'm living in? And you know, the flip side of that is that all of the goals that I want in my life and all the things that I thought I had a limit to how far I could go, those shattered too. So I got to create my own sort of semblance of a reality.
Those little things that we tend to think about and worry about and all that is just like not important anymore, is it?
Yeah, no, I remember getting very irritated by shampoo commercials and things like that. Yeah.
Because you did have to shave all your hair off. Or you didn't have to, but
I chose to. Before I even started chemo, I chose to take a little bit of control. And
we're looking at pictures of you shaving your hair out. Now, that sort of gave you some independence, though, and some control.
Yeah, it did. It did. It was an interesting moment. It's great to see those pictures of my dad.
But you also lost your eyebrows.
That was the hardest part, losing my eyebrows, and you know, you lose all the hair on your body. You lose your nose hairs, and you know, for me, it was very hard to look at myself in the mirror. I very rarely did look at myself in the mirror, and I isolated myself. I was embarrassed, and I felt very alone. And the reality is, there's over 1 million young cancer survivors in our in the United States. So it's, you know,
you're definitely not alone.
I'm not alone, but for some reason there wasn't that kind of resource for me.
Support groups are important.
Very important. Yeah, that's why this the Steps for Living campaign is so important to me, and I'm too young for this campaign, because there are certain things you just cannot do alone. And I was very isolated when I went through chemo, and I didn't have to be that way.
What is the difference in the very lonesome time for you versus the time that you realized there were people going through the same thing you were going through when the support was there?
It changed my whole world, because it's a very simple solution to a very complicated issue. When you get a lot of people together that share the same experience, by helping one another, they help themselves. When I help somebody else that's going through cancer, just by talking to them, I'm figuring out what's going on with me as well. Because there are still days that I wake up and I say, wait a minute, what just happened? Because I have to remember that, you know, life is fragile, and to embrace every moment, and, you know.
So even when you're doing okay, there are some issues that come up.
Oh, I think survivorship is in some ways more difficult than going through treatment, because when I'm sick, I don't have to worry about getting sick. I'm already there, and I'm already fighting it. Now that I'm well, I have to worry about getting, I don't have to worry about getting sick, but that thought is always in my mind. I wake up and I do that, I look around my neck and what's going on and, what if, and I have to stop myself. And the way I stop myself is by sharing that experience with other people that have a similar situation.
So how does singing and songwriting fit into the big picture?
I think for me, I didn't surround myself with other people that were going through it when I went through it. And it was a way for me to find out what was going on inside of me, because the music allowed me to say what words couldn't. And I didn't have help trying to process what I went through, and the music sort of helped me to do that.
You put into words what you were feeling, and you put those words to music?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did those words say? That you could not. And what did those
I think
words
it's more they turned the anger. Well, some of the songs are pretty angry. That's another regret I have. But it provided a space for me to put the fear and the anger, and because my anger was all fear, and instead of throwing it at people, which I did when I was sick, but instead of doing that afterward, I was able to put it into some kind of creative place.
And the creative place was really a benefit album.
Yeah, yeah.
So how's the benefit going to work?
Well, we're hoping to reach a large number of young people going through cancer and surviving, and the Steps for Living website offers a place where young cancer survivors and people going through it to find support and to find other people like them so that they can help others and help themselves.
You should be very proud of what you've done.
Yeah.
Are you?
Well, Matthew Zachary, the executive director, is really the person that gets the credit. He's a very special individual, and the survivor himself.
And you are as well. And thank you so very much for doing this and sharing it with us. Thank you again. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we say goodbye, we want to leave you with Laura Higgins performing her song, Your Sympathy, from the compilation CD, I'm Too Young for This. For My Nine, I'm Brenda Blackman, and we'll see you next time for more Real Talk.
Sitting in this chair, I watch you lead and twirl your hair as if you know how much it hurts me every time. You bring me soup and crooked smiles, but always with advice why I should find a brighter side or bluer sky. And when you walk away, I don't forgive you for the fault. And if you sit and say it makes me angry when you talk, I've still got 27 days and 0 patience here to be your sympathy. Our extended family, the cousins that I barely see, send cards to wish me better days ahead. And all of this attention, though I know they've good intentions, leaves a bitter taste of metal in my head. So if you want to help me, then just watch from where you are. Don't tell me I'll be fine, don't tell your friends you think I'm stronger than I am. I've still got 27 days until I'm free from your sympathy. And when I look in the mirror, I see a stranger staring me down. A woman in armor, I can't fight any harder when the room clock says 3 a.m. I wonder if I'll ever sleep.